Yes, guys, episode 40 of the Bikini Insider with Ivy Pros, Kerry and Marnie. Ladies, NPC UK season's kicked off. We've just had the first regional of the weekend. Before I jump on this, I do want to throw somebody out, a name out there. I'm not going to bring up the profile because it's a different federation. But did you guys see a post I did of the 70-year-old bikini competitor that competed the other week?
Maybe, yeah, I think I did.
No.
I'm not sure if I've seen it somewhere else.
So I'm going to give her a quick shout out before I forget, because I was going to keep saying myself. But Linda Shields, 70 years old. She competed at a different federation up in Scotland on the weekend. Sorry, a couple weekends ago. Looked absolutely phenomenal. I love doing when I do a post and the comments is just pure positive, nothing negative whatsoever. Just loads of plaudits to herself. I think her daughter also competes. I think her daughter's also got a daughter. So, she's a grandma. Huge congratulations, Linda. Very well done.
That is
Away,
amazing.
away from that, yeah, girls, NPC season kicked off. Any of you girls there?
I wasn't there, but I was
I
literally sat here with two phones and a laptop refreshing to try and find out what was going on because I had three girls compete in the regional in the UK. And then the following day, one of my girls competed in the Denmark regional, which is also obviously run by two bros. And every single client made it to the overall. So can't
Excellent.
ask much more than that, can we?
epic.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, guys, just going to give guys what the plan is for today. We've got Charlotte Ellis. Charlotte took second over at Taiwan. Unfortunately, Lightning did strike twice, but let's not forget that's a huge achievement anyway when it comes to these pro shows, especially international. So she's so close to getting my Olympic qualification. Looking forward to hearing what her plans are for 2025 season. We've also got the bikini overall winner, Lori Beth. Lori's going to join us. We're going to hear from her about her plans for 2025. It's not the first time that she's going to be trying to push for the IP Pro card. So looking forward to hearing about that. We're also going to do a rundown of the most recent NPC show in the UK, the Two Bros Conditions Cup, sponsored by Martin Winston. So we're going to look at some of the winners there from that category. And in fact, while we're waiting for Charlotte, I may as well bring up the first ever fit model overall lineup, which of course, Marty, you had one of your girls in that lineup. While I'm bringing it up, did you guys get to see the final lineup?
Do you know, honestly, this weekend it was Mark's daughter's birthday, and I actually spent quite a lot of time away from my phone.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
Detox, yeah. I saw pretty much everything that was being posted up. Our Rocket group chat was just ding, ding, dinging all weekend. Because we actually had some of the girls there watching, which was nice. So I was kind of getting like the live update as the show was unfolding. But there was 14 fit model athletes
Oh,
in the show,
brilliant.
which is a really, really great number for the first one out because I think we have typically seen in some of the other shows, maybe one or two here and there. We've heard on the West Coast maybe that it's been a little bit more popular, but I think for the first show in the UK, like it's a great number that because you're going to get a lot of variation through those 14 competitors. And I mean, look at the overall. Wow.
I think I think so, something to bring up as well is like we know, so Amelia, I'm going to go into left and right. Amelia, she's competed before in different shows. So this is a previous competitor from different federations, different divisions, moving over to fifth model. We got Victoria, who's won overall titles in different federations within bikini. So she's moved over to fifth model. Dion, who was the overall winner once again. She's a previous competitor of a different division, the bikini division, over at a couple of different federations. And we've also got your girl, Hannah. What's her competing experience?
So she actually, before she joined Rocket, she competed and did one of the fashion fitness
Okay.
federations. And she joined me a couple years ago because she really wanted to compete in bikini. And so she actually did her debut in bikini last year. Won her because she's a class A girl, as you can see, she's the smallest one there. So there was only four height classes here, A, B, C, and D. But she has actually won her class, open class in bikini, made it to the overall, but she struggled with size. I mean, you can see she's got a beautiful shape and she does have like a nice level of condition there. Like I personally don't think that that is too much for fit model. And actually, she was told, as per judges' feedback, to actually be a little bit tighter from the back. Now a lot of people might look at this lineup and think, well, Hannah's the leanest there, which I agree with out of the four that are in this overall. But again, we've got to really remind ourselves, and I wrote a story about this the other day, that Ashley Kay of 2015 Olympia is the standard for fit model. So when I'm looking at Hannah's physique and we're looking at her posing and just the overall look, I'm kind of referring back to Ashley's photos from the Olympia rather than looking at who else is winning the fit model shows at the
Yeah.
regional level, if that makes sense. But yeah, she's the girl that I mentioned was in the planned 2 year off season when fit model was announced, and she was like, right, I'm doing fit model, let's go. And I mean, look at the front pose, absolutely unreal. All of the girls look great. I mean, one thing that I'm really happy about as a presentation coach and someone who's passionate about the small details is how polished every single girl looks in this lineup. Like the hair's beautiful, the tans look really good. Um, Even the bikinis, everything just looks really polished and refined. Yeah, Carrie's nodding her head. I know she loves this kind of thing too. So
Yeah,
it's
big
nice to
time.
see. Yeah,
I
I
think,
think,
yeah, on my perspective, so we know we got 14 girls who competed in the fit model, in the fit model division at two rows. Do we know what the split was across some of the different heights? So for Hannah, how many girls was in her height?
ugh, I'm really not too sure. I think obviously there's going to be more people per class because there's only four height classes, whereas in bikini, you've got all the heights from class A up to class H.
Yeah.
Have
So
to find out and let you know on that.
yes, I mean, obviously, from my perspective, I mean, of course, Victoria, Dion, Hannah, they're the ones that really do stand out from in my eyes. I know Victoria, she's headed over to FIBO for the pro qualifier, which is going to be the
Nice.
first Fair Model IFA Pro card being awarded in Europe before a
Yeah,
week later, which is over in the UK, which is Dion's goal. Hannah, what's she targeting? She
Ben
targeted
Rita.
Bermuda?
Yeah, Ben Rita.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
But look, huge congratulations to all four girls, and of course, all 14 who stood up, who took part in the fit model division. One of the things I was most interested in was to seeing how many girls were actually converting from different divisions, moving over to fit model, because a lot of the international shows, where I know internationally, the the amount of federations that they have in a single country is far less than the UK. I mean, UK, we've got about 20 odd federations, and you go over to Australia, other countries, it's maybe two or three. And a
mm,
lot of those countries have been first timers competing fit model, never competed ever before. Whereas here in the UK, I am expecting a lot of girls who've done other divisions in other federations to come out fit model, now feeling this is a class that's best suited for them.
Do you know what? I think it's really interesting that you say that because there you go, statistically speaking, 100% of the overall lineup are all ex-bikini athletes.
Yeah,
So that, I suppose, sends a message to anybody that's curious about Fit Model. It sends that message that these girls have been training hard for
yeah.
bikini. And so they are now stepping into a category with some development there. And I think that is something that's been controversial or discussed of, oh, it's easy or whatever. It's not that. It's these girls have been working hard. It's not like they've just kind of jumped out of bed and said, oh, I'm going to get on stage. Like it still requires that hard work.
I think the thing is, as well with that is like you could take that for example. I don't know, over the last few years, up until recently, where things have been refined, like personally for myself, like I've trained like a figure girl, but have I got the muscle of a figure girl? No. Like, do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So you can say that like bikini doesn't train hard or fit model doesn't train hard, but it is more of a genetic thing, you know? There are some people that are working like way hard, the same as an open men's bodybuilder, taking, I don't know, the same assistants, doing whatever, but they're never going to look like that. And
Mm,
that's the thing that people need to understand. That's where these categories come into like good play.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Well, look, we got our first guest on. I can see her waiting in the
Yay.
in the background. She is Charlotte Ellis, FIBO Pro. Just come back from Taiwan. Here she is.
Here I am.
Bet
Hey.
you're feeling knackered.
Yeah. Oh, yesterday was really, really rough, to be honest. It's like the time zone difference. Like, like time zone as it is hard. And then like when you're like just
Yeah.
a
It
bit.
ruins me
It's the
whenever
upside down. It's worse than the States, in my
Mm.
opinion.
So I just actually powered through, but yesterday evening was really rough. And then I got to like sleep at my kind of normal time and I'd got like 8 hours because the last couple of nights I only got like six, and that's just not enough for me personally.
No, same.
How are you guys?
Yeah.
Look,
good.
we're all good, but you know what? We're more interested by yourself, Charlotte, because of course the weekend's just gone. Lightning strikes twice, but it was a second place in Taiwan, which
Yeah.
first off, huge congratulations. Look, whenever you do these international shows, they are no joke, and my lineup definitely wasn't. I think
Yeah.
before I pass on the girls, what I'm really interested in was to kind of understand what was the feedback you got from the judges last year from the show versus what's been the feedback from the judges now. A couple of days have passed and you can start planning forward what's next.
Yeah. So my feedback last year, so it was actually so the judge who had judged this time, he was on the panel last year, but he wasn't the head judge. So he actually judged at all of the shows that I did last year. So he'd already judged me 3 times. So that was quite cool. And I didn't know he was I didn't know he was judging the show, but I had spoke to him already kind of like before about like what he thought I needed to do. So that was quite good. But yeah, my feedback last year from a different judge was that my shoulders were a bit too big, which to be honest has been my feedback for my whole life. So, well, I've not actually been training delts at all, for about like coming up to a year now. So I did actually pump them up for the first time in like years before going on stage. So I was like, what is this? What is this pump to the shoulders? So that was my feedback last year. And it wasn't my feedback this year, which is good. And I definitely think I looked much more balanced, which is obviously nice. So that was good. And then my feedback this year was so I was just need to be, he just said I looked a little bit watery on the glutes in the back pose. So I just needed to be a little bit tighter, really, which I do agree on. Yeah.
What do you think caused that then, Shah?
So,
Or
her.
do you think it was like related to the travel or
So I don't, not many people know that I'm vegetarian. So going to abroad, I always take my own like protein source. And
the mint? Is it the mint that you have, the vegetarian mint?
yeah, mince.
Is
Yeah, but I actually was
that-
using the chicken. And I actually think I should have like so I didn't have a freezer where I was and it's frozen stuff. I had a fridge and it was in the fridge, but I think that it kind of given myself a bit of like I don't know. I don't want to use excuses. Like I just don't want. That's not me.
I do not think it's an excuse.
I but basically the day after the show, I took it out because I felt really sick on the day. And I was saying to Rob, like, I was like, my stomach is not right. Like, I wasn't like being unwell or anything, but I thought it was nerves, like nervous belly, like really like lower abdomen, like pain. And I was like, what is this? But I think you can see it. And also, I dropped 6 pounds overnight. So after I removed it, and that's not body fat, like,
Yeah,
no, that's just water. So I just think I accidentally made myself unwell.
probably
I
had a
don't think
food poisoning.
Hey?
Probably
Yeah.
had a bit of food poisoning.
Yeah, yeah, and it lasted for like 2 days, that like pain in my stomach. But as like the day after, I didn't have any more after the show. So like pre-show, I had it. I didn't have any more after that. And yeah, like I say, you're not losing 6 pounds of body fat in like one day. That would be like the best thing ever.
Oh
If you
yeah,
had that.
yeah.
I don't think
Um,
But I
excuses at
think given
all.
that, like freaking hell, placing second, given that is
Yeah.
like
so
amazing. And
I
this is
just
the
hope
first show of
that
the season.
like yeah, I just hope that that don't happen again. One, it was just
Yeah.
hard because I had to go out there for like I didn't have to go out there for that time, but I wanted to go out there for a decent amount of time to adjust to the time zone because it was like well, I didn't think about the clocks changing actually, but it was so when I first got out there, it was 8 hours time difference from the UK, and then it changed because the clocks went forwards on Mother's Day, didn't it?
Yeah.
In the UK. So then it ended up 7 hours ahead. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to be adjusted to time zone because it was meant to be like 5 a.m. that I was on stage, and I thought, oh, I can't be, girls, do you know how long it takes to get ready?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be like getting up at like 2 a.m. and like trying to like feel good for that. Like if I stayed on UK time. So yeah, I was out there for a bit of time and I just yeah, just made myself sick with the stuff that I'd just fake chicken.
It's such a hard one. That is such a hard one.
Yeah.
That's the realities of competing as a pro abroad, though, that's what
Mm.
I was just about to say. Like, it's not an excuse. Like, someone might listen to this and actually learn something from you because these are the small details that make such a big difference when you're competing at this level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can see like I put up a check-in on my story yesterday from when I just got back from flying and I'm much leaner. So I'm excited to be
Yeah.
honest. Like not dwelling on that. Like I'm excited to see how I look on stage, not like that.
The thing is, I think it's great because, well, not great, like that happened obviously, but when you've placed well, but you're not at your best.
I get what you mean, yeah.
Know what I mean?
That's
Like, I'd
exciting.
much rather say, oh, I came second, not at my best, than, oh, I came second at my absolute best of the season. Because you're like, I've still got, like, I'm still going to improve from here. So that's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, and generally, you're always gonna like improve, aren't you, from show to show?
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing to do with like anything peaking wise. Like Rob's the only person who's ever coached me and prepped me, and he knows how to peak me. Like, and we don't do anything stupid, we don't do anything crazy, we don't do anything that would cause any issues. So yeah, I think as well. One me because it happened to me before actually in China where it was quite not the nicest experience backstage and I just got very stressed very quickly before going on stage and that showed in how I looked on the stage as well and I actually got like feedback that I was looked a little bit like stressed as well before that trip my flight got cancelled as well.
Oh,
So these
God.
are the joys of that and it was like a night flight as well, because like the best thing to do is like if you're traveling something like that is do a night flight. So it's like 11 p.m., which is way past my bedtime. And then they're like just holding us all in the gate for like hours. And then we had to go to a hotel and I was like, that's not a good start, is it?
Absolutely not. It's one of
But
those things.
yeah, like just trying to keep yourself calm. Like I don't know about you guys, but like I always feel kind of like okay until I get backstage. Like that's when I get hit with nerves personally. Like it doesn't like before show day or even like that. I don't really feel any nerves. It's literally backstage. It's like I get like slapped around the face with it. Like and it's just trying to manage that. So I think yeah, it's good that like you say that maybe it's good that I've done the first show and that's when the issues happened with the chicken
Yeah.
all in one show. So hopefully it'll be better. Well, it will be better going into the next.
Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds like obviously what happened over in Taiwan is easily, can easily be avoided going into your next show. And I know, of course, the Taiwan show, you kept quiet in regards to it to fully focus on the individual
Somebody,
show.
somebody
Yeah,
spill the beans.
I was just casually waiting for the list to drop, and when the list drops, I'm like, okay, I guess that's my cue that I can announce something.
My cue.
But yeah, I mean, look, going away from Taiwan, look, it's another second place finish, and I mean, God, Kerry, you know all about second place finishes as
Yeah,
well.
can I just say, one of us needs to get first place in Taiwan because that's where I came second.
Yeah,
Like,
we
we
need
need to
to
get out there
go
and
and
get
do
a
it.
first
To be
place.
honest, like I 100% like I really get on with the promoter. He's a really nice guy, and I have like only the highest of like praises for that show. Like I think they really look after you. I really enjoy it. Like even that video that you guys reposted, the 360 like camera
Love
video,
it.
like
Yeah.
I had
Unreal.
that in South Korea as well. Actually, it's really cool.
We
Um,
will always over at them countries.
yeah, like amazing, treated really amazingly. Yeah, so I would definitely go back there.
Yeah,
Is
I mean, I'm
that, oh, I was just going to say, is that why you compete in Asia? Is it for the experience, or is it more to do with like you placed well there before, you feel like
Yeah, so I
right?
was asked this before actually, and yeah, one, why not travel to like these cool places that you would never really normally go to, but also kind of like a little bit strategically in that I kind of knew that like the Asian girls, often were quite like bigger in their like upper body, so like that I wouldn't look really out of place, but now hopefully that's not an issue because I feel definitely more balanced. But yeah, so kind of like that side of things. And then obviously, a lot of it is like, being in front of judges that you applying their feedback and them seeing you doing that. You got kind of got to keep showing up, haven't you? So yeah.
going back to Asia shows. I mean, yeah, look, one of my favorite shows in the world is the Monsters in one. Have you seen that?
Yeah, so
Yeah, which is
yeah,
just
there's yeah, they actually have that in Taiwan. The promoter, his name is Kai, was telling me about it. He was really excited because it's massive,
the
obviously.
10th anniversary show this year as well. When they got something mega
Yeah.
planned, it's just always look phenomenal. I also love what we do, even just the day before the show, even registering looks like it's a big deal, and
Yeah.
that really it looks like celebrity status really when you
Hmm.
see all the content, the videos, the photos we do for it.
Yeah, yeah,
It just
yeah.
looks phenomenal. And of course, Kerry, you've been involved in that as well, having done the shows over in Asia.
I don't know if it was the same whilst you were there. I'm sure it would have been, but there was pe like we sat on a table and like there's people queuing outside the doors and
I
they
remember
had
seeing
shut
that.
the doors. I sat there for like 2 hours, like signing stuff. Like
Uh,
in the end, he was like, "Look, you can go, like you can go."
yeah.
We were like absolutely ruined, but like he said that it looked bigger than like what goes on at the Olympia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As well,
Huge.
like, so one, like bodybuilding, like being a bodybuilder and looking like a bodybuilder is not normal. Like, so, like in summertime in the UK, like if I went to like down the road in like like not revealing, but like in like sh had my shoulders out. In England, like people would look at me, but so one, you've got that factor, but two, I'm also white.
Yeah,
So I genuinely had like people like taking pictures with me, like just coming up to me like in the street, like for pictures. So like I was quite kind of like I don't really like not that I don't like that, but like I kind of would be keeping myself a bit like covered. But on the day of the show, like when you're covered in tan, you're attracting it, aren't you, a bit?
yeah.
Which
Amazing experience. There's another show in December, isn't there?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the Monsterism one that he was
yeah,
saying. He was like, yeah, you should come back and
oh,
like
it's phenomenal, isn't it?
yeah, so that's going to be that. But there's like 8 pro categories, so it's like the biggest. He actually said it's the biggest show in Asia, so
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Yeah, and I said to him like, I'd be up for that to be honest if I'm, not
Well, look,
not looking
December
it.
is quite far away.
I know.
want to focus closer on April, May time. And I know, like I said, the Taiwan show was more kept low key. Is that the
Yeah.
plan for the rest of the season? Are we keeping low key? Do I
So
need to keep my eye out on the
yeah,
NPC website, IP website for
yeah.
lineups?
Yeah, so really like my thing is that I like put a lot of pressure on myself and I it's a me thing, it's not a other people thing. It's not like it's not secrets, it's not like anything like that. It's not like it's just I put a lot of pressure on myself. I like to just kind of get my head down and get on with it. I've got amazing clients, but if everybody knows what I'm doing, I get a lot of questions like about it, and I that then makes me not be able to deal with it. So I like to just kind of like fly under the radar and just like kind of just show up. Yeah, when I first started competing, I would definitely be guilty of like hashtag 1 week out, things like that back in the day. But yeah, I just I couldn't handle it. Like I couldn't, yeah, basically that's it really. It's just me. I
How do you
prefer to
think,
just like continue it, do it, yeah.
I was gonna say, how do you think you'll feel when you qualify for the Olympia then? Because everyone's gonna know.
About that show.
Deal with that when that comes.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Yeah.
I mean, I know you're keeping it a secret in regards for shows, but it's very much. I mean, I assume having come second, to in your last couple of shows, that you are within touch distance of the Olympia, like Kerry was in 2024, and like Kerry, it was like a run of shows where it's like probably wasn't planning for the next one. Being that close, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going until I get that Olympia ticket because I've never been closer. I'm not gonna lose this momentum. Is
Yeah,
there a
there is
focus like
part
that for
of
yourself going
that.
into 2025?
There definitely is part of that, but there also is I was speaking to Kerry about this. It's a bit like you just I very much doubt myself like a lot. So it feels close, but it also feels very far away at the same time. Like yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Where did that doubt stem from? Because you've had a successful career as an amateur with wins across
Yeah,
the federations,
I don't
and of course
know.
now here as a pro.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it comes from. I think it's just like having a really high standard for myself, and like what like wanting to uphold that. And then just like the mind games that is involved in a prep, like when you're just looking at yourself, looking at other competitors, looking at the pictures that are released on the NPC, and like yeah, then like when they started releasing the list and stuff for the show, and I was like, oh, don't even look at who else is doing it, like just things like that. Yeah, yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but I almost felt a little bit like imposter. Like I was a bit like, oh, like is it a bit like fluke? Like I don't know, but I know it's not. But
You
I think
know,
you just get
I
this
can
weird.
relate.
You get this.
Every single one I've done well at, if Mark was here and heard you say that, he would literally die of laughter because that's what I would say. At every single show I've done well at, I would go, oh yeah, it's just fluke. Oh yeah, it's just fluke.
Yeah,
And
like
last
how has that
year in
happened?
that run
Like
was
yeah,
my most
definitely.
doubtful. So maybe it'll be the same for you. If you're that doubtful, like I don't know, maybe it'll be the same vibes.
Yeah. Well, we keep going. Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely up for it. But I'm also, yeah, I'm up for it. But I'm real, and I will not chase after something if it's actually maybe I'm not quite there.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
Well,
next
look,
show.
and like, I think there is a difference in like not being quite there and being in the top five. Like, I think there is a big difference in that.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, like I've only ever placed in the top five, which is really cool. Um,
well,
we'll see what happens.
you may feel that you're suffering from imposter syndrome, but I've seen the comments on your posts from Taiwan and even lead up to it, and of course the feedback from other pros and amateurs in the scene, and of course the people that you impact by sharing your journey as well. I don't think there is any reason to feel imposter syndrome. If anything, you
Thank
should be very
you.
proud, of course, the constant improvement you should be making over the last couple of years. And there's no doubt that everyone is fully behind you. And there's no pressure in regards to getting to Olympia. It's more, of course, the enjoyment of following another UK pro that's living her dream, that's living other people's dream of what they want to achieve one day. And of course, I'm sure. Look at me, Kerry, Molly, both smiling here. Would all love to see you at the Olympia 2025. If it's not this year, then maybe next year. But when it happens,
Yeah.
we'll all be jumping for joy.
Yeah, thank you. No, I feel very supported. And that's the hard thing is like when, like I say, I'd like to fly under the radar a bit, but um, I also enjoy like being able to share it and having that support and like it's a funny one. So yeah, I think kind of like now the first one is done, obviously like people know, you're like going for it. So it's a bit like more able to share more, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Well, look, Charlotte, I want to wish you the best of luck, and no doubt we probably will grab you again if
Yeah, I
when the
love
next
to.
comes up.
Thing.
But
Thank you so much for your time, guys, and look forward to speaking with you more, probably.
I
Yeah.
will just keep making note of, was it Tuesday, 9 p.m. UK time, where the lineups always gets announced for the weekend
That's when
show.
I
So we'll just wait till next week. Yeah,
we'll
we'll
wait
just wait
till
till
then.
next week.
Yeah.
All
Keep
right, you
going.
take
I know
care,
you've got
Charlotte.
it in
You
you.
got
Keep
this.
going.
You got
Thank you,
this.
guys. Speak to you
See
soon.
Take
ya.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I think it's coming for you, know, I do.
Do you?
No, I do as well. I think we both have a really similar journey, and we're like quite similar people in that regard of how we've chased over the years. I remember that when she was an amateur for sure. In fact, it's mad because I was the first person that ever posed her way back when, and I can just remember that right from the start. I just like you could just see something in her. So yeah, that's proper exciting. I'm just gonna put my phone on charge before it
Don't
dies.
worry.
Pop up.
You go do that. I think look, we'll see if it is the One Bro Pro show next weekend.
I've got a feeling
I mean, it makes sense.
it
Her
does.
neck of the woods. And of course, we have got the FIBO Pro Bikini lineup this weekend, where of course Alison's lined up in that as well. But look,
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
from
finally announced. Well,
yeah, that's it. Once again,
I
she's
had a
got
feeling she would do that show, to be honest, but obviously I didn't want to say anything in the interview. It's going to be a big one, that.
yeah,
yeah,
it's looking good. But
Ivy's
look,
there, isn't she?
Yeah.
from
Wow.
one person chasing the Olympia ticket to the next person chasing Ivy Pro status, which is something both you two have had the joy of achieving. Marnie, Ben Weider last year, and of
Yeah.
course Kerry at your international show. Lowri, hey, how
Hey,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good, all good. Look, I can see the medals behind you, which obviously
Yes,
tells me that this journey has been a long one. But
it does.
quickly, I did the recording yesterday for the show recap. Was the Two Bros Regional, was that your third overall
Third
title?
overall with True Bros, yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we that was so obviously this year. Last year was the Rice Trick Rumble.
Yeah, and
Was it
then
in 2023 as well?
no, it was 2022. The one
2022.
in the MK Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, before I pass you over to the girls, I'd just love to hear about the show just taking place because as always, we know at a Two Bros Regional, the bikini lineup never ever disappoints because
Yeah.
they are stellar, and you do have the best amateurs all jump on, and of course it's the first one of the year. You got the pro qualifier 2 weeks later, so no surprise it was going to have some big names in there. But of course, for yourself, Laurie, it was a secret one.
Yeah.
So just tell me a bit more about how you felt going into the show.
I think I felt more nervous because I thought to remove the pressure because obviously, people are always like, oh, you're going to do really well, but nobody knows who's going to be there. And you do take that in. You do take that in. You're like, okay, this one's going to be my next one. And obviously, last year I kept winning my class and then obviously not winning the overall. So I just come close so many times and I wasn't meant to compete. I'm getting married in September, and I was like, right, I can't compete. Like, I need to focus on my wedding. But I just come so close, and I just said to Josh, like, can I just have a few weeks off and then just go again? So that's what we did. But yeah, it was hard, obviously, not to, like to keep it from people because I look like a skull. But I just literally been wearing the baggiest clothes and just sort of going to the gym, getting my head down. But yeah, I think it was more nerve-wracking just because I didn't know what people were going to be like when they did see me.
I mean, Marley, Kerry, I mean, obviously, Kerry, I know you had a busy weekend. Marley, you were overseeing the lineup as well because you had some of the girls that you
Yeah.
posed with that took to the lineup. You've seen the overall lineup, you've seen the girls that were in there. What was your thoughts of Lori's performance in that overall lineup at the Two Bros weekend?
Oh, I think you nailed it. I said last year, I spoke to Jake about you before, and I was like, she's gonna turn pro. I said this last year.
Oh,
And
thank
of
you.
course, you were so close, but
Mhm.
I think your time is coming. Like when I was looking, I mean, I've done like a review of the show and whatever. I didn't see your performance, but you've got wow factor, especially
Oh, thank you.
with the black hair. I think just the package, it stands out. And I feel like you've put on a lot of density to your glutes as well since last year. That was one thing
Yeah.
I
I agree. I
noticed.
noticed that.
Oh, thank you.
I noticed that.
Was that a focus for you then? Because when was your last show
Yeah.
last year? When did you finish?
End of October.
Oh wow, so very short space of time then. So what have you been doing, like
Yes.
training nutrition wise since?
So Josh pretty much put me in a surplus straight away. Um, Obviously he's uncomfortable because obviously seeing the lines go quicker than normal. But my health and things was literally amazing. Like I could have kept going. Like when I say like I didn't feel hungry, like I wasn't tired, like I just felt like okay, I can just keep going. So my health and things were great. So we just put me straight into a surplus, and then we changed my training split because obviously my upper is very developed. We just concentrate on the glutes, and I've also got a PT as well in the gym. I don't know if you know him, Sai Gishash. He's just incredible with like mechanics and things like that. So those two things really helped, and like that was literally like pretty much it. Like that's literally all we did. We just like just did the same thing in and out. And yeah, that's literally all I did. So I was quite surprised as well, if I'm honest.
Oh, that's amazing. And
Amazing.
like with your training then, so because I agree, like you've got a set of shoulders on you, girl.
Yeah.
In that front pose, I'm like, whoa. So do you still train your upper, or are you at a point now where it's like bikini sculpting rather than just
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I train upper once a week and
okay?
that's it. But even then, I think I've got like two shoulder exercises and the rest are like lats and back and then some biceps and triceps. So very minimal delts now. So I feel like they also grown since last year as well, which is annoying because that's obviously not what I wanted. But yeah.
You
I
are ready
definitely
to turn
feel
pro. You're already
yeah.
doing the things. You're ready to
Oh,
turn
thank
pro.
you.
I noticed your bikini color as well because it was similar to my bikini color with the
Yeah,
green.
yeah, and
Um,
do you know what? It's so funny because I remember seeing that on Bikini Mama. I never really picked my colours. She always picked some for me, so I had a choice of three colours. And when I saw my overall win, I was like, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm giving Kerry Sexton vibes," and
yeah,
that's literally what
I
I
thought
thought.
it. It's a good
Lori,
color.
talk about because we obviously know your success on the UK scene. You've had three overall wins, and then of course you have competed internationally. Pushing for that IP Pro card. And look, I mean, okay, I think it's the third time I'm going to reflect back to Kerry. We always know there's always like a pool of those top amateur bikini competitors who are always there or thereabouts. Kerry's been involved in that when she was chasing the IP Pro card and even get the Olympia ticket. And of course, the current crop is we know Anya, Aston, these girls where they've always been there or thereabouts. And I
Yeah,
think obviously I would put yourself in that pool as well, where
yeah.
you've been very close in taking that pro card. So what's been your past history with the pro qualifiers internationally?
So, to be honest, it's been a bit of a mixed bag and it's a bit confusing if I'm honest, because the first one I did was France. And I managed to get my feedback from the head judge straight after, and he said to me, "You need to lose condition." So I was like, "Right, cool, okay." He's like, "You got striations, like that needs to go." So I was like, "Okay." I still applied my written feedback, and it was very different. He said I wasn't lean enough. So obviously, it's a bit like right, you're on the same panel. Like, what do you mean? Am I coming in leaner or am I coming in like, am I losing in condition? So I just spoke to the judge who gave me this feedback, and I was like, look, I was told by the head judge to lose condition, and he was like, okay, do that then. So it's just really hard to know how to come in because when I did get told that, I had my worst place in. I came fourth. But then it's just like I looked at the other girls and they were all hard. So obviously I looked then softer than what I actually was, if that makes sense. So I think that's like the hardest part is just like coming in how the judges want you because bikini looks different. Like even like the lineup on the weekend, we all looked completely different. And it's almost like you can't really compare us together because we all were just so different. So I think that's like the hardest part. But something I did learn is like I just need to come in with a package that I was happy with because when I lost condition, I wasn't really happy with that look
Yeah.
then. Like I came fourth. And then when we sort of just came in with like how I wanted, I was winning my classes again. So it is tough. It's really tough. It's luck of the draw, literally.
It's one of the hardest. It really is. Like to be a bodybuilder or something, literally, you just have to be big for all like
Yeah.
hard. But with us, there's such, and it goes from country to country. Like
Mm.
it's tough. And I think that, yeah, I think it's always just best to go with what you are most confident with,
Yeah.
unless like obviously you've been told a handful of times the same feedback.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I think that's one of the best things to do, to be honest, because you're always going to present yourself so much like more confidently as
Yeah.
well. Obviously, makes
Yeah.
a difference.
I
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as well it's going to differ from judge to judge because if and hopefully some of the listeners can take this on board who are competing in the amateurs as well or haven't competed yet. Even if you get that feedback from a certain judge, but you're then going to another show where that judge is not there, they are not there to reward that feedback. So the
Yeah.
other judge might be their definition of bikini might be slightly different, and although that shouldn't be the case, it is sometimes just based on their own experience of what bikini is and maybe what shows they've judged, if they've judged at a pro show before, if they've judged at a US pro show before, and that kind of thing. So it is hard. And I think not only that, but I mentioned just before, you've got very, very good stage presence. And I think
Thank you.
in order to bring that, if you're not confident in how you
Yeah.
look with the physique, it's an energy, isn't it? Like you just
Yeah.
quite hit the nail on the head because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I've brought this, but I don't know, and I prefer this look. And then before
Yeah.
you know it, like even if you do your posing perfectly, people can tell, like you can sense it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So,
yeah.
Lori, I guess that leads us nicely to the fact that you got your overall win, you got momentum behind you. What's the season looking like now? Because I'm sure you must be looking at the calendar, picking the dates.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the one in 2 weeks. I'm not pushing it this week, this year, just purely because I have the wedding and I also have to think about fitting in my dress. So if I don't get it in 2 weeks' time, I'm gonna go for one more. I think it's either Alicante or Lisbon.
Nice.
I think it's either the week after the pro qualifier in the UK or the one like 2 weeks after. If I don't get it then I'm just going to go into a big off season and obviously just work on building my glutes and just building that balance because obviously, my upper is heavier, so I just need to obviously rebalance that.
I mean, well, wait, if you could, well, look, we all believe that you are very close in achieving
Yeah.
that pro card, which, look, Marnie and Kerry both know, because I haven't achieved it. Sometimes there is an element of look of a draw on, who turns up a day and the feedback and who you're in front of. But the fact that, yeah, look, you got this one chapter of your life coming to an end before you get married in September, and
Yeah.
what way would be that sometimes things could line up in a
Yeah.
way like this. And of course, you got the UK show next weekend. I saw on your most recent post that you're always heavily followed by your family to always
Yeah.
come to your shows carrying that Welsh
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
Remind me, girls, it, who are the current IFBB Pro Bikini competitors from Wales?
Kirsty Taylor,
First
Lucy
Taylor. Well, she's moved to
Bethlehem.
figure now, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
of course.
and then
Lucy
of
had
course,
Yeah,
um,
Lucy.
Richie's partner. Yeah,
I think that's it though.
Yeah, I think that's it.
yeah.
There's not many. Yeah.
Mm.
There'll be one more soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Well, look, Laurie, we of course wish you all the very best. Hopefully, next time we talk to you, instead of those medals behind you, there could be this
Yeah.
big red
Yeah.
card that
Yeah,
has
I've got space for it on my wall here, manifesting it. It's literally
Good.
a space next to my sword.
Well,
Keep
I
manifesting it.
keep saying to Marnie, and we're still not seeing it behind that wall.
I
Correct.
know, I'm sorry, right? I actually will do it for the next episode.
Yeah, we've got Kerry's Romania belt, and of
I
course,
didn't do this, to be fair. Mark made this, so
Oh,
I love it. But look, Laurie, best of luck for next weekend. Look
thank
forward to
I'll
you.
see.
be there.
Oh, Marnie's gonna be there.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Really lush to see you.
Very excited. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna smash it. Just before you shoot off, what was your feedback? Because
Oh
I'm
yeah, of
sure
course.
everyone's wondering.
My feedback was coming tighter from the glutes.
Classic.
So, but I was like, we already knew that, so I was like, okay, I got
Yeah,
that.
you have got that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be there as well.
Who's
Oh,
the
amazing.
Harry.
Yeah.
How
Yay!
lush. That'll be lush.
who's the who will be the head judge for that show?
Maz.
Will it?
Yeah,
I
Maz.
think,
And I think they've released the entire panel. I'm sure I've seen it on Instagram.
okay.
So Peter's going to be there from Norway. He's on the panel. I think a few of the judges from the regional will be there too. Maybe Holly Measures and Ian.
Yeah, I would say so.
Um, so yeah, it's
Perfect.
good to get in front of Maz because obviously American judge knows.
He likes the like harder, bigger.
He was the one who told me to lose condition. I had him 4 times last year.
Really? That's wild. Well, maybe he's changed his mind now because
I think
Yeah.
choosing before at pro shows was definitely harder.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he'll just be sick of seeing me now. So
Yeah,
Well, look, Lori, best of luck for next weekend,
thank
and
you.
hopefully you do take that pro card because you fully deserve it for the amount of miles you generated going around Europe to try and push for that pro card. And of course, 3 regional wins in the UK is no joke. So best of
Yeah.
luck, and hopefully we should be able to grab you back on in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to
lots
speak
of
to you
good luck.
all.
too.
Thank
Take care,
you.
Larry.
Bye.
Bye.
All right,
Oh,
what I want to do, girls, is I want to bring up some of the other competitors that made the overall lineup from the most recent regional, and obviously just get your thoughts of them. And we may as well start with obviously your girl Marsha. Marsha made the overall, did
Yes.
she?
What was that?
Did Marsha make the overall?
She was in the middle for a long time, and then at the last minute, Lori got moved in.
Let's get this up. Let's grab a few of these girls who are compete on the weekend.
I also had one of my other girls who I've done a little bit of posing with, Carrie Bullock, who is
Oh
in
yeah, of course.
LA,
Yeah.
yeah, and she made it to overalls too, and she got moved in. So basically, it was Lowri, Marsha, and Kerry in the center, the top three spots in the overall.
So what was your overall thoughts then of the look that Marsha
wow.
brought to the stage?
Very, very happy, very happy.
Oh, look.
She hasn't been on stage for a couple of years, so
Wow.
we knew that it was going to be a case of kind of, dusting off the cobwebs and just kind of getting back up there. But she's come back as a completely different athlete. And she's also won an overall before when she did her Two Bros debut. So, yeah, she's obviously got the red suit this time. She wore blue last time she competed. We changed the hair. There's quite a few tweaks that we have made to like her back pose and things in time for the next show. Spoiler alert, she's actually in Germany right now
I
doing,
know, yeah, of
yeah.
course.
She looks
So
great. What was her feedback? Sorry.
so her feedback was her feedback wasn't anything. It was that Lori had a more dominant upper body than her. That was the feedback.
Okay.
So it wasn't
Really
that
good front pose,
anything
isn't it?
it wasn't that anything needs to necessarily change, but with me and my eye, I spoke about this on my story the other day. I believe that she needed to make adjustments to her back pose, that we have been drilling that really, really hard over the last few weeks, and I've been telling her to relax her upper body and have the hands in a slightly different position and a bit more pushback. And that's going to differ from athlete to athlete because sometimes you're at risk of pushing too much or things don't quite look right. But her and I've been speaking pretty much every day, and she said, I know we wanted to do that in the back pose, and I don't know what happened, but I got up there and it kind of just went out the window. And sometimes that does happen, like when we spoke about giving advice to everyone who's competing this year, that can be the case at the first show. So, I wasn't too disheartened with this. Very, very small tweaks were needed. So I think she's balanced. She's got that shape and pretty muscle. And yeah, what do you think, Carrie?
No, I think she's really, really good. I do. I was just looking from the back and thinking possibly there could be an adjustment with her feet coming inward slightly because to me, I can see like a lot of quad. Um,
Mm,
and I think
yeah.
toes forward could enhance that um, and give her a little bit more balance from top to bottom as well.
Well, I'll just share a little bit on why I made the adjustments to her pushing and relaxing the upper a little bit and actually pulling the hands in because you can really see there just how conditioned she is through the lower back. Do you see that bit of
Yeah.
extra lower back, like just under the connector, round
Mhm.
the side of the glute? And I just feel like because she has shorter hair than, say, Lori does, a lot of that is exposed. So I've told her that, we need to make some adjustments to that and just a tad bit more pressure to push the glutes back just a little bit more. But she has got a set of quads on her, but when the camera is centered on, it's not too overpowering. We've tried the toes in, we've tried the toes out. She gets a much better shape when the feet are kind of in that. But like you said, Kerry, when it comes to posing, a lot of it's trial and error, isn't it? Sometimes you think, oh, this looks better, then you see it and you're like, actually, let's go back to what we
Yeah.
had or whatever.
It's
And also,
mad. Even I did like 5 shows
uh,
and got told at the fifth one, your feet were turned out too much. But it was the same at every show
yeah,
before that. And then moving forwards, I turned them forward. And yeah, there we go.
yeah. I've also told her just to have a bit more of a dominant top line in the front pose as well. I think it's always difficult when you kind of go into the first pro qualifier after the regional with the Ben because a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be a rematch of the regional, when in
Yeah.
reality, we don't know that yet. Like, someone could come into any one of the overall winners class from Europe and replace that person's spot in the overall if they are a better athlete. So I think you want that balance of make the adjustments that are necessary for you, but also play to your own strengths and don't fixate on what anyone else is bringing too much because that person might not be in the overall again. You just don't know.
100%. Yeah. And any show is anyone's. Like,
Yeah,
even if it is the exact same lineup, it can be exactly different results. Like, it really can. Because you just
especially with a
I don't
different
know,
judge.
anything can happen on the
Hmm.
day, literally. And that's why I always say to like my own clients, like, don't focus on anyone else leading into the show because like I would say I'm an example of that. Like even from what happened in my pro debut, I had so many predictions of like top three, top three, top three. But then like I literally looked like I put on about a stone within a day because the end of the peak went wrong and the look was completely different. So if anyone had been watching me thinking like that same thing, like, oh no, or it was a mess come show day. So sometimes that happens.
Let's
Yeah.
bring up the next person as well because we've got Marsha on one side of Lowry and then we have Kerry on the other side. I think she's put a video up here as well. So keen to hear your girl's thoughts on Kerry, who looked like she was in the mix in regards to that overall being in the middle three.
I really am so happy for her because I feel like when you're competing as a Class A athlete, and I've heard people say this before, like you've got to be very, very good to get moved in the overall lineup because naturally we are the smallest out of everyone, and you've got to stand out in order to get brought in into the mix. And this was her first time ever in the overall, and I mean she's done quite a lot of shows. She's very dedicated to this, and she came to see me for like a really intense posing session a few weeks ago, and honestly, we transformed the way that she poses. And I know she struggles with confidence a lot, but we were talking after the show, and she said, when they called her number and she got brought in the middle, she was like, oh my God, it's happening. Like I'm being brought in the middle. They're looking at me, and I'm like, you cannot like there's no better feeling than when that happens when you've been grinding for years and you finally kind of get that nod. So I think Carrie's feedback was again just a tweak to the back pose actually, but also I believe maybe coming a little bit softer. But again, in saying that, a lot of the other girls will probably have been told to come in harder, like, or more conditioned, not harder. I don't want to use that word. Like Lori said, she has been told to bring in the tie-ins a bit more. So when you get that sort of feedback, again, you have to take it with a pinch of salt because if you make drastic changes, but then you kind of go too far the other way and then somebody else comes in leaner, then it kind of makes your changes look even more significant. So that's why this is so nuanced, I think. What do you think, Kerry, of Kerry? I just realised.
Yeah, I know. No, I completely agree with you, to be fair. It's a super hard one because like I know this isn't the clearest video, but when I look at this, if you can go back to the where they're all lined up,
Oh yeah, what's it?
I thought that maybe her feedback would have been she needed to be a little bit more conditioned.
Mhm. She's very, very
Like
muscular in person.
she doesn't look too conditioned to me,
She's
compared
very,
to when I'm looking across the lineup, but that's only from a photo, but she doesn't, to
mm,
be
I
honest.
don't know. I don't know. It's a funny one because I personally disagree with that, but I've also seen her in person.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's,
exactly. I'm going off of this.
yeah. I mean, her and I are planning to do another posing session this weekend. And even for me, look, it's a snapshot in time here, but I still think she could open out more in the front pose, and I think she was
I was
told
gonna
this as
say.
well.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the same. Like she could bring a lot more
Mhm.
balance, rotating her shoulders round a little bit, potentially not having the foot so side on, but slightly at an
Yeah.
angle, like slightly, um,
Yeah,
and
I
coming
agree.
up a little bit taller in the chest. And I think that will create such a different illusion.
Yeah. Also, can we just point out that like everyone is blonde except Lori, which
Yeah,
is when I was going through the videos, I was like, wait a second, is this like blonde hair and red suit season or something?
that's so funny.
Well
Like
done
Mm,
all of them,
too.
look at that. That is such a strong lineup, if I'm honest.
it is.
Like I
It's
think, yeah, we're doing good in the UK here.
I think it's now to be expected in the other two road regionals when we know the
Yeah,
bikini division is very strong. When there is a pro qualifier coming up in a couple of weeks after, and also FIBO this weekend, we know Marsha is going to be over there this Friday challenging for her pro card. Yeah, expectations as always is kind of at that level now, and we're seeing it here. So very well done to all the girls there.
yeah.
I'm going to bring up one last thing, girls, because we've obviously got the FIBO Pro Bikini lineup. So that's been announced. Keen to just bring up the full lineup here. Here we go.
I'm so excited for this.
So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
obviously a couple of standouts. Uh, Ivana, obviously a big standout.
Yes.
Alison, who we spoke to, not being at didn't make the Olympia last year. I know it's not the focus this year. The focus is just bring her all-time best. Who are you looking forward to in this lineup?
Well,
Have
I mean,
Naomi, no, Naomi,
yeah, she's got a crazy physique. You've
Mhm.
also got Lisa Reith there, who
yeah,
obviously, she's doing very well. She's competed on the UK Arnold stage. To be honest, I'm actually really, really excited for Alison because I just feel like her back pose has like she looks like a different person, and it's going to be so interesting to see her stand next to someone like Ivy, for example. I
agree.
think I saw somewhere that maybe it was you that posted this, Suki, that she's like almost tying with like number of pro wins as Angelica.
Angelica, so I think that was a Bikini Network. So yeah, she's one result
Yeah.
off.
Which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, none of the other names I recognize. Have you seen any of the other bikinis on that list, Suki? Like, have you been looking at their
No, only the main two,
Okay.
which of course, Ivana
Got a
and
few
Alison on
Germans
the.
there. Quite a
Sorry?
few Germans, obviously competing in on home soil. The
Yeah,
German lineup there. Yeah,
yeah.
the others I
But
don't recognize.
it's a shame there is no live stream for the event, which is a shame. But I've got a couple of people who are do real-time content, videographers that be putting the content out throughout. So looking forward to seeing that. There is also another show take place over in US, and that is of course the Charlotte Cup.
The
And
pro.
this is a very interesting lineup because one of the girls we'll be interviewing next week is Ariana. So she'll be on next week, and of course. couple of the standout names, Maria, who obviously came fourth at the Arnold's. We've got Jordan Brannon will also be there, yeah, fresh off the Arnold's. I mean, we know Maria, Jordan, and Ariana are the three big names there. All three are doing Pittsburgh. All three have just done the Arnold's. What's your thoughts of this lineup?
Oh, I mean, how many is it? 28. I just tried to count them all. Stacked. That's going to be a long prejudging, I think.
I
Um,
love lineups like this.
yeah, it's when it's deep like that. I mean, you could have a few girls that might break out in this, and make it into first call out. You just kind of
Yeah.
don't know. Obviously, we've got like the standard favorites there. Also, just want to give a shout out to Rhoda, who's competing as well. I met her at Nashville Fit Show last year and just love her look. She won her pro card at the Amateur Arnold a couple years ago, so she's been on the Arnold stage too. And you've also got Romina competing,
Yeah.
who's an
Yeah,
OG.
it could be anyone's. It's one of them.
Yeah, man. I
Really could be.
Yeah, you've obviously some of the girls like you've mentioned the favorites like Maria and Jordan and Ariana that they've already
Mm.
kind of done their first show of the year, so they'll probably have their feedback, know what they want to do. Whereas for some of the other ladies, it's like first show of the season vibes.
Yeah.
Um, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, look forward to seeing how this one plays out. It really does look like, from what I'm seeing on obviously socials and the girls posting their updates, it really just looked like a shootout between Maria and Ariana. I think this is also their local state show as well. This is their neck of the woods. So huge good luck to them. We look forward to see how this plays out. But of course, we do have Ariana joining us next week. So maybe we can be talking to her after securing Olympia
Yeah,
qualification.
imagine that. Oh,
Yeah,
this is making
very
me so
exciting.
excited to compete this year, honestly.
But yeah, no, shows are coming thick and fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've just seen the Fit Model launch in the UK. So once again, huge well done to Dion. And of course, all the girls that made the overall and chose to compete in Fit Model. It's always a very big thing when you are moving to a new division, especially when the division has had mixed response. But the weekend just gone, we had 14 overall winners from the football division. The first Estonia winner, the first Switzerland winner. So this is just getting bigger and bigger. We've also got the FIBO taking place this weekend, which is also awarding the first European footballer pro card. UK is shortly afterwards. Pittsburgh is not far away. That's getting more excitement building towards that. That's going to be the US's first show awarding footballer pro card. They'll be awarding two pro cards over there. So plenty is going on, and would lead nicely to the Ben Weeder next weekend. And look, Maya, as we kind of seen as well, the UK normally do dominate that show when it comes to pro
Well,
cards.
do you know what? I was saying this to someone the other day, like we've got quite a good winning streak at the moment, I think, but you do, and I'm not saying this is going to happen because I'm manifesting the win for my girls, but you do sometimes get that complete like rocket that just turns up out of nowhere. No one saw them coming. We've
Yeah.
seen people come from Singapore, whatever, and they walk out and it's lights out, game over. Everybody in the UK is like, "Oh my God, we thought it was going to be a rematch between so and
Yeah.
so," and then someone comes, they take the card, and that's it. So we'll have to wait and
I
see.
think where this year is different is because FIBO has a show, and that's a week before, and FIBO has not put on a bodybuilding show for God knows how many years. And the fact that this is a major one with huge, obviously they've got four pro classes, but the amateur lineup seems to be a very busy one. So you're gonna have a lot of people fly over from Germany or all the
Yeah,
other
I'm
countries
sure.
flying into Germany to compete there. You're gonna have all those coming over to the Ben Weider for that first UK Pro qualifier. So yeah, look forward to seeing how that happens and who is going to be that first bikini IP Pro card. Is it going to be from the UK? Is it from Europe? We'll soon find out next weekend.
And I assume that they'll be jumping into the One Bro Pro as well, of course.
Of
Like
course,
I
now look, by the time we record next week's one, we'll have the full lineup. Is Charlotte doing it? Is she not? I think I think we all know what the answer is for that, but wait and see. And also look forward to seeing who else is going to be jumping into that show. So yeah, really excited about that one. All right, girls. That's a wrap. Let's roll next weekend, and good luck to everyone competing this weekend. And as always, girls and guys, and anybody who's watching it, drop a comment below. Let me know which show you're competing in. Make sure you give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week.